welcome to the Angel Rewatch, a spoiler-free retrospective podcast on Angel. I'm William.
And I'm Derek, and this is a podcast for Apocalypse Nowish, written by Stephen S. Knight and originally airing November 17th, 2002. Gunn and Fred go to fight some ghost that is haunting a lady's bathroom. At the house, they're still very distant with one another. Well, Fred is distant with Gunn. He keeps trying to talk to her, and she ignores him. When they get inside the haunted bathroom, they find that it's overflowing with rats. A comical amount of rats. They don't find this paranormally suspicious at all, and instead tell the lady who owns the house to call an exterminator, and they flee. Back at the Hyperion, the phones are ringing off the hook, with Lorne fielding all kinds of calls. Connor shows up and wants Angel to talk to Cordelia. Connor is then a total douchebag in this scene. Angel then follows Connor to his hovel, where Cordelia is still staying. Cordelia and Angel talk, and she tells him that she's in love with him, but she can't be with him because of all the horrible things that she experienced him doing as Angelus when she was a higher being. Don't ask, it doesn't make sense, and I'd really just like to ignore all future conversations on this subject. Anyway, then Cordelia has a vision of some terrible thing that is coming. Angel goes off to Wolfram Hart to get more information, and Connor stays with Cordelia. Back at the Hyperion, Fred and Gunn arrive and have a conversation about not having a conversation. Fred can't deal with all the talking and leaves Gunn at the Hyperion. Gunn goes inside and starts fielding calls with Lorne. Cordelia decides to take a walk out of Connor's shack of decay, and Connor comes with her. Cordelia wanders around following her vision until she arrives at the place where Darla died and Connor was born. A huge demon erupts from the spot and attacks Connor. Cordelia just kind of lays there helpless. The beast then gets close to Cordelia, smiles, and jumps away. At Wolfram Hart, Angel has broken into Lila's office. Lila has no patience for her usual routine with Angel, but Angel has already done a lot of footwork. He's already captured and kind of tortured Gavin for information, but Gavin is very forthcoming. Angel tells Lila that he knows they haven't been able to decipher information they sucked out of Lauren's head, but he wants the file that they do have. At the Hyperion, Wesley arrives just as Gunn is about to leave to find Fred. Angel comes and stops them both with information from the file that he got from Wolfram Hart. Together, the guys and Lorne figure out the indecipherable text actually forms a symbol called the Eye of Fire. A symbol that matches up perfectly with the calls they've been getting in L.A. Together, the guys get together and go to the location that is the center of the eye makes on the map. It's where they find the beast in the middle of some terrible blood ritual. They attack and get their asses handed to them. Even Wesley, with his super cool double handguns and shotguns, don't make a dent. The beast doesn't kill any of them, but he so could. He incapacitates all the guys and finishes his ritual. Fire then begins to rain from the skies. At the Connor den, Cordelia and Connor watch as fire begins to fall. Connor worries that this is all his fault. Cordelia assures him it's not, and seduces Connor. Do I have to keep going?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to. We then see all the characters look out the window as the flames fall from the sky. Fred, Lila, Wesley, and Lorne all watch with horror. Angel, however, watches a far more disgusting sight. He stands on a rooftop and watches Connor and Cordelia have the most awkward sex possible. That's the end of the episode. I'm over it.
I don't know where to begin.
I'm over it.
We'll wheel back to the ending scene, I feel like.
Because we could go back to it because I guess I enjoy the rest of it.
I do. I think I mean, it's a slow burn at the beginning, but I think it culminates. I think they do a good job of building up to whenever the big bad guy shows up finally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they obviously do a number of things to show that he's not to be trifled with, or that he's a realistic threat. I mean, even starting with the cold open, I felt like they did a good job of making him really creepy with her having that dream where he shows up in it saying, I know. I thought that was pretty effective and intriguing to start the episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's some weird things going on in the episode that I don't know if it affects pace or anything. Like I find it weird that we have Connor and Cordelia get the crap beat out of them, and then we have to slow it back down for the guys to figure out what the thing is that they pulled out of Lauren's head. Even though I like that, I don't know if there was like...
I don't think that's necessarily slowing things down.
Well, I don't know if those, like, wouldn't Connor and Cordelia, like, call Angel at all after that? But no, we've got to... Okay.
I don't think Connor knows what phones are. And Cordelia is too busy trying to get in those fairly legal pants, so...
Okay.
And we don't know exactly what the timeline is.
Yeah, that's true.
Because them deciphering things could be happening at the same time, and also they could try to call when when Lauren is already having another call, and
yeah, that's true. They're having like 1,000 calls.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they could have had it where it starts off where he shows up before the beast fight with Connor and Cordelia. If they would started it, we're like, we've got to buckle down and figure this out, and then cut to the Connor Cordelia scene, and then cut back to the guys, I would have had less problem with it. It's a very minor thing,
mm-hmm.
and ultimately it doesn't really affect my enjoyment of the episode whatsoever. I have other little nitpicks, but...
If we're talking about that scene, I just find it weird that Wolfram Hart wasn't able to figure out that it was a symbol, because it looks like a symbol when you're just looking at those pages out of sequence, that it's obviously supposed to be something bigger, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't think God cracked the code there, did a whole lot. I could have told you that just looking at them, and that wasn't even remembering.
Well, I think they needed to make it obvious enough that they could realistically make the symbol on the floor and it would look like something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Whatever. I didn't have a big problem with that.
I don't have a big problem with it either, but if we're talking about little nitpicks in that scene, that bothered me. That Gunn's like, you're looking at it too close. Oh my God. How did we not see it before?
Dun dun dun.
So that's whatever. I mean, other things much more of a problem than that. Oh God, the ending.
I laughed at I laughed at the rats thing mainly because they've established that Gunn has a fear for rats.
Oh, I forgot that. So I just thought it was weird.
So him shrieking was funny. I also laughed at the sparrows or whatever, the furball cannons or whatever they're doing to like throw them at the wall where they obviously look fake, and then like they have the paintball shooting the windows as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I thought that looked pretty cheesy, but I was laughing through that, which is weird because like those effects don't really work, and I really like the use of practical effects in the episode. But, like, I really like, whatever. I'm just calling him the Beast. The Beast makeup, the guy that comes out of the ground. I think his looks really good. Like, they did a really... I think it might be the most impressive makeup job they've done for the demon effects in the show.
Probably. He at least... I mean, he definitely looks like a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
Especially in when Angel's fighting him at the end, he looks plastic. But
I guess it's when he has to like bend down at all to do motions.
When he has to move.
Yeah, but when he's standing still, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
Like I like the like magma looking effect. He looks like he's been birthed from the ground.
And I like how he is able to emote. He doesn't do a whole lot. He really just has that sneer. But it's more than most demons on the show have been able to do with their faces.
Yeah, him just smiling is more threatening than a lot of the bad guys we get.
Well, a lot of the bad guys can't move their face because of the makeup on them.
Yeah, it's true.
They just can't move. But, yeah, he's fine.
So...
You notice my apathetic nature is just because the ending happens and I can't get past that. It's burned into my skull. Connor, oh god.
There's some like meta thing where we're watching Angel watch them and feeling just like Angel, like, what the hell? What the hell show? Why?
Alright,
Why?
we might as well address that because I'm not going to be able to move on.
Okay.
Why? I mean, I don't understand. It's just really upsetting. It's really upsetting watching Connor's sex face. It's just, all of it's really upsetting. And it's really gross, and I don't understand why it's there. And the thing that really bothers me about it is because before that, I think this is one of Connor's better, if not best, episodes. Because he's not treating Angel like the enemy. He seems to be having emotions that aren't anger.
Right.
And he comes off maybe sympathetic for the first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, it helps, like, him getting his ass kicked in this episode.
Well, that's not...
I wasn't... Well, I mean, part of it is... What I wanted to point out was, when he lost, I wasn't happy that he got his ass kicked.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're happy it helped that he got his ass kicked, because...
No,
okay.
Yeah, so this was different for me, a different feeling, to be like, oh, wow...
I mean, I wasn't feeling that sorry for him that he got his ass kicked, but
right.
I think before that he has a couple, when he goes to Angel and wants him to talk to Cordelia and then has the maturity to leave them alone, even if he's upset about it, which my problem with that thing isn't Connor's side of it, because I understand why Connor is attracted to her, because he obviously doesn't remember that he was a baby and she was his surrogate mother. My problem is Cordelia being attracted to him.
Right, and especially if she has her memories back. Mm-hmm. You know that you were his surrogate mother, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all kinds of disturbing.
Yeah, but I love what I was saying was that he understands that Angel has a different connection with her than he does and can recognize that Angel can help her. And then he leaves, but then he still wants to protect her. And there's a couple moments where he shows some self-awareness and he's able to joke. Like when he says that, is that in the dream? I think it might be in the dream. There's another moment after it. What I'm talking about is when he says he's starting to talk in complete sentences. I don't remember if that's Dream Connor or Active Connor. But
I don't honestly remember.
Well, whatever it is, if it's not Dream Connor, not Dream Connor has some nice lines where he shows some self-awareness and some moments where he's shown to mature.
Right.
Everything from Cordelia's side is just wrong and terrible.
Yeah, going back to that Angel and Connor scene, I really like that one. Yeah, he's showing a level of maturity and him not just being that angry kid. And the use of the word dad was really effective. He so rarely calls him that. I don't know if this is like the second or third time he's used the word.
I think it might be the first time he's used the word when he wasn't planning to drop him in the middle of the ocean. Because he used dad in the season 3 finale, but that was just to manipulate Angel into feeling safe.
Right.
I don't think he's used it since.
And I really like how it gets Angel to kind of shut up and realize that something really is going on.
And because Angel's kind of being immature there as well. Not wanting to go talk to her because he doesn't want to have the conversation that she has with him.
Right.
Which is a whole nother issue.
Yeah. Other Connor things.
I mean, that's it. That's all. Because everything else is the awkward sex.
Right, well, I do like his attempt to fight the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It does make
I
it
don't
appear.
like that. Not because it's Connor's fault, but that Cordelia just lays there. God, I just hate everything with Cordelia in this episode.
Well, okay. Part of the thing is like we've already mentioned that she was pregnant during.
Where's this going?
Well, they're getting her to lay around a lot more.
Well, yeah, it's she has that blanket draped strategically around her for quite a bit of the episode.
Yeah.
But you can have a stunt double, especially considering how dark that scene is.
Right.
She doesn't have to just lie there and let the beast do whatever. And she doesn't do, like, anything the entire episode. The only thing she does is, again, to be this weird prize in the love triangle between Angel and his son.
Right. She has the vision.
She doesn't do anything, though.
She takes Connor to where he was born. That's
I thought you paused when she takes Connor, and I didn't know where that sentence was ending.
She takes Connor.
No, she didn't do anything, and that's what bothers me about Cordelia this season, is that they even make the point of, like, yeah, I was really annoying and have my memories that just went around and screamed a lot, but now she's just like this dead fish who does nothing useful except have sex with Connor.
Right. And I guess we had
I think, what I want to say is, I think that Charisma Carpenter does a good job in playing Cordelia. Like, there's something off about her. She has a very dead quality to her voice and actions. But I don't know where that's going.
Right. I liked...
It's not interesting right now.
No. I liked her, the cold open, with her talking about the dream. She knows that something...
Wait, so the dream... when
she's talking about her visions or whatever, that the thing is real.
But in the dream, or when she comes out of the dream?
In the dream, which then she comes out of the dream crying. But in the cold open, when she's talking about that no one is safe, can't you understand it? And I want to tell Angel, but the words won't come out.
Mm-hmm.
That whole sequence felt like Cordelia.
In that scene than she does in the rest of the episode. Is that just me, or...
No, it's because she's the most forthright in that.
She doesn't seem as quite as... It's like there's something hollow in her for the rest of the episode.
Well, I don't know if...
like the way she delivers lines, they don't have the same type of energy. There's just a real kind of lack of anything.
Right. I'm just curious about, like, they have the cold open where she's, like, saying that she wish she could tell Angel, but the words won't come out. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if, again, speculating, if that's supposed to be tied into the fact that Wolfram and Hart says all these psychics that were trying to gleam onto what happened, what they pulled out of Lorne, like all their heads were exploding, and Lila says that there's something protecting that information.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's also keeping her from actually being this forthright like she was in that dream sequence.
Well, she's not really... She's being forthright in that dream sequence about how she can't be forthright. So...
Yeah. I don't know why they... Yeah,
and it also happens in a dream, so... Not reality.
Right. True.
Can we talk about...
I guess...
I feel like... Well, whatever you want to say, but I feel like I've said my piece, and I think I can move on.
Well, do you want to talk about the Angel and Cordelia scene?
No, I don't, because it's dumb, and it's stupid, and it's stupid, and it's dumb.
Do you think it's more of...
Yes. You don't have to...
We're just trying to keep
You
them...
don't have to finish that sentence, yes. It's more of them trying to keep them together, yes. Moving on.
Apart, yeah.
We're going to want to talk about it. It's dumb, stupid. I think Angel plays it well. Still a stupid scene.
I do like it from Angel's perspective, because it is kind of hurtful, or like she's the person that he loves, and that
it's Angel's greatest fear. Is what exactly. It is that he won't be accepted by people because he has enough trouble accepting himself, and then jealous. And whenever anybody says that what you did was terrible, he takes that to heart. And I do like that he says to her that he never tried to hide who he was.
Yeah.
But he still accepts her judgment of him.
And he takes it to heart. And it is, I think it is kind of emotional. It doesn't make sense from Cordelia's side.
Well, nothing that Cordelia does in this episode makes sense. So, why start there?
But I do think that from Angel's side that it worked really well. Mm-hmm. And
Angel, it is pretty sad. Everything that is not... Well, not everything, because like I said, I think this is Connor's strongest episode, but everything that doesn't relate to Cordelia, I think works very well. Yeah. Even Fred, I don't know, sort of breaking up with Gunn?
Yeah, I guess let's get into that. I get that there would be strain in the relationship. Mm-hmm. And I really need them to have a conversation, because Gunn is obviously trying to move past what happened. Mm-hmm. And it seems like Fred has already made up in her mind that she is breaking up with him.
Yeah.
Because...
And I want to know why.
Yeah.
Because I could see... There are a couple arguments as to why, but I need her to vocalize them.
Right.
And it can't be that I'm in love with Wesley.
It better not.
That's the one argument that I will not take, no matter what they try, especially considering the disturbing but in a better disturbing way than Connor and Cordelia, the Lila Wesley scene, sexy.
Yeah.
Because they're always disturbing.
Right.
But it's interesting, as opposed to, this is uncomfortable and why are you making me watch it? Which is Connor and Cordelia.
Right. Not to get too off track, but yeah, I did find that interesting. Their relationship is always kind of dark, because it's all stemmed from Wesley turning bad or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting to put more human qualities onto Lila. Like, she's evil, but yes, she's also jealous. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, seeing her reaction to Wesley when he's like, no, leave them on. Again, interesting. And again, they're having that power struggle in their relationship continually. And to see which way it's tilting over to, which side, is always... It makes it interesting to watch the two of them.
Do you want to talk? I really don't think there's much... Because, again, I think they don't do enough with Gunn and Fred, I think. Like, Spin the Bottle, one of the major problems with that is that it has a very strong opening for Gunn, and then they kind of drop it because the memory curse happens, and then we go back to it. And then there's a lot more things going on, so you can't really deal with Gunn and Fred's issues. And because Fred won't deal with Gunn and Fred's issues.
Mm-hmm. I find it interesting, again, why, and I do think they need to address that. I do like that they have Fred go to the diner that we've seen them go to plenty of times before. I do like the scene where they finally at least talk a little bit, or at least, like, Gunn tries to push it, and Fred is obviously actively trying to avoid the conversation. But the fact that she is pretty much trying to avoid Gunn in any kind of capacity seems like she's distancing herself further and further away from the relationship. Again, I just need to see them have another conversation and not get cut off for whatever reasons because of the show, even though it seems like they'll probably do something like that in the future.
Because it's Gunn, and they don't care about Gunn. What else is new?
So, what else did you want to talk about?
Nothing.
Well, I really liked the boys' showdown.
Well, I might want to talk about that later.
Well, I might want to talk about that later, too.
All right, well, then.
Okay.
There we go. There's nothing I want to talk about now. Okay,
well, one other thing I want to talk about. I liked Angel going to Lila, only this time kind of appeasing her in a intellectual way. I thought was really smart. Like him realizing that he can't just brute force threaten his way to get her to help him. And to set up the situation where, okay, in what way can I get this person that hates me to help me?
Yeah. And I think it's a smart transition to make, since Lila had pointed out that threats from you seem so empty now, because he's told her that we're going to have a conversation and hasn't done anything to her. But he did torture her. I like that this is the first time we've seen Gavin since that boardroom scene that he doesn't talk at all. He probably isn't even in that set with them. They probably just filmed him being in a nut just for reaction shots, because they're never shown at the same time. It's really pathetic.
I like that them keep cutting back over to it. It was pretty funny as far as dark comedy goes. I guess.
Well, it's funny because Gavin, it's Gavin, and there's the only character that Angel is less interested than Gunn is Gavin.
Oh, that's so sad.
At least Gavin's not a main character.
Yeah, that's true. Do we need to talk about the ending?
No, we already did.
Oh, okay.
Why do you keep taking us back there?
I can't get it out of my mind.
Well, I really can't, because I just watched it. I just finished it about an hour ago, and it's burned into my whatever part of your eyes that things are burned into. Oh, gosh.
It's like raining fire into your brain.
That is more disturbing to me than fire from the sky, and that may be intentional.
I do really like the shot of Angel, like his reaction with the fire kind of raining behind him. I think that works really well. It's as a cool visual to end the episode on. Like, oh crap.
If we're talking about cool visuals, I really like Lila's shot of the fire raining down. Mostly because they have Lila in this real kind of 1920s hairstyle. Which I'm not sure why, but it makes for a cool image when she's in front of that window and the fire is raining down.
All of that works very well. Yeah, I guess we'll have more to say for feedback. So.
Okay. First up, in feedback, we have Kathleen, who said, Apocalypse Nowish, an episode I love and yet hate at the same time. I loved everything not involving Connor and Corey together. The gang getting inundated with calls for the strange and unusual, Lila and Wes's roleplay, Connor calling Angel dad, Cordy telling Angel about experiencing his past as Angelus, the entrance of the Beast, Gavin's starring role as a hostage, and Gunn's shining moment of solving a map that easily led to one of the best fight sequences of the entire series. And if only I had stopped the episode at the end of the gang's giant fight with the Beast, it would have been one of the strongest episodes of Season 4, but sadly the final sequence of Connor and Cordy sleeping together brings the entire episode down. Worst decision of the series is all I'll say about that. I mean, we can end now. That's all my feelings right there. Except that I don't think that Cordy telling Angel about his experience with Angelus is particularly good.
Well, so say they stricken that one scene from this episode.
Maybe. But
would it change your entire opinion of the scene? Or of the episode?
Well, it might change my opinion of that scene in particular, because obviously I remember that this episode ends with them sleeping together, and I know what we're setting up when she says, I can't be with you. Maybe, but I don't think so, because I still think it's a lazy way to keep them apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It could be better if she didn't turn around and sleep with his son instead, but no, yeah, I don't like it. No matter.
Yeah, it's really tough, especially coming at this from the rewatch perspective, like not wanting to spoil anything. But I did find it really interesting on rewatch, seeing these scenes, and again, knowing what's going to happen. Like it,
I think
it
you should
sucks.
stop while you're ahead.
I'm going to stop while I'm ahead, but it sucks that you like know how you're like, oh god, I have to relive through this again. Not only do you not have like the initial, like I don't remember the initial shock of being like, why the hell are they doing this? But you're like, oh god, they're about to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
it's doubly bad. That's all I was going to say.
Okay, you put me in an awkward situation. Because there's things I want to say, but we have to wait for quite a few episodes before we can say them. Anyway, anything else in Kathleen's comment?
I liked the boys getting back together. There's something really nice about Angel tossing the crossbow to Wes and saying, hey, you in.
Mm-hmm. I think a crossbow is an oddly ineffective weapon against the beast.
Well, we don't know he's good. They don't know they're about to face a rock monster, so...
That's true, but as good as that fight scene is, I found it humorous that they show Wesley and Lorne reloading the crossbows in almost real time, and then you realize how slow a crossbow actually is. Because usually on Angel, the crossbows are loaded pretty quickly. They're basically like guns with arrows, but this is like, oh wait, that takes a lot of time.
I was more, I was more distracted by the Assassin's Creed almost like, we'll take our turns to fight him thing about it.
I'm only pausing because I can't remember what you're talking about in Assassin's Creed, but that's
well. In the video game Assassin's Creed, whenever you're about to fight an army of people, right? They attack you one at a time.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
They all circle around you, and you fight them one at a time. It makes zero sense if they would just all jump them. Mm-hmm. It would make for a less interesting fight. Whatever. It's a weird thing that I noticed.
Okay. No, I did notice that they all get a turn and they all lose.
Right.
Which you think they might regroup and let's all tackle them together and see how that works, but...
it would not work. No, it would not work either.
Probably wouldn't, but that one strategy was clearly not working at all. So, might want to change things.
All right. So, next up we have Alicia who says, if I was Fred, I would pick Wesley. The good. I loved Lauren in this episode. I said no. I said why. How about we meet in the middle with a why no? The thingamabad, that Wolferman heart sucked out of my noggin. How about one's good? They finally have a case. Snakes, and they came out. You're what? I'm not judging. Are there giant demon snakes? Lauren and Angel talk about snakes. No, that doesn't sound normal for a boy his age. Don't poke him. Damage nomenclature goes out the portal when hacking's afoot. Connor said dad. The last time Connor called Angel dad, he put him in the ocean. Could you have tortured him a bit more? Really wanted to, but he wouldn't stop talking long enough for me to get into it. Yes, that's my real name. You're fifth on the Bleeding Walls list. When our feathered friends went kamikaze. I'll hang my head out the window, see if I get that Burkle vibe. No, but it sounds comforting and I could use the air. Chuck Heston Plague-a-thon cools down. I'm going to need a bigger arrow. Where was Wesley keeping all those guns he had? Poor Lorne and Angel and Wesley. Bad. What a disturbing way to end a not good episode. Lila pretending to be Fred was weird. So thank you, Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the I'm gonna need a bigger arrow line just as a reference to Jaws. Lorne had a lot of good lines, but yeah.
Not to be nitpicky, but aren't they talking about spiders? Not snakes?
No, they're talking about snakes.
Oh, I thought they were talking about spiders.
No, they're talking about snakes.
Okay. I thought it was spiders. Anyway.
That was nitpicky right back at you.
Yeah, well, apparently I was wrong.
Well, I don't know if that's a reference to Buffy Season 3, though, because he's like, do we fight snakes? And he's like, only giant snakes, or demon snakes, or giant demon snakes. Yeah.
I thought they missed a opportunity to have a bidet of evil reference, which might not have actually happened yet, because that's Season 7 of Buffy, which is happening at the same time as this.
Yeah.
But when they're in the bidet, in the bathroom, and they talk about a bidet, there's several references to a bidet.
And they're like rapid fire, one after another. I was like, maybe they just really wanted to say bidet over.
Well, bidet is a fun word to say. Anyway, so far as Lorne, I find it odd that Lorne wants... I guess he doesn't want to read Cordelia again. He wants Angel to talk to Cordelia, which I think is odd because he was so against reading her. Like, wouldn't Wolf and Hart then just suck their brains because they know?
Yeah, I don't know. I do like the bit of information that we get once Angel goes to Wolf and Hart, that the psychics or whatever, the moment they were trying to decipher what was happening, their heads exploded, so there was a dangerous element to like what they pulled from Cordelia. So maybe Lauren's feelings of not wanting to talk about it were well placed. And I like the fact that they have Lauren trying to push the issue because it makes more sense than what they have been doing. Like we said earlier, like the fact that he didn't read her again was bothersome, but if he pushes the issue or if they try something new to get that information from her, then I would have less of a problem with it. And that's when we had Spin the Bottle, where they got her memories back. So now that she has her memories back, we can know what the heck's going on. I like the fact that Lauren
we can't really, because something's projecting up.
Yeah, that's true. Which I have less of a lazy writing problem with that than I do with the will they, won't they with Angel and Cordelia.
Which is odd because it's the same thing, basically.
Exactly. Well, we have less emotion tied into...
Well, I'm not... Honestly, my emotions are pretty... They pretty much ruined it.
They ruined it?
They killed it.
You up until this point, you were all Mr. Angel and Cordelia.
No, up until...
Forever.
What? Forever?
You were Angel forever. Yeah.
Not this season.
Well, I think the show is actively saying no, not this season.
Well, I know, but no, I don't think the show is saying no, not that. I think it still wants you to care.
Yeah.
And I don't care because they're so clearly not going there.
Yeah, it's really troublesome to actively do this to your audience. Like, I get putting that kind of tension on you, but for how long can you do it before it actually starts bugging the crap out of you?
Now.
And
4 seasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when would you say that it was all the main part of season 3?
Well, it was really the end of season 3.
Right.
Till now. Because it's not a problem keeping the two love interests apart. The problem is coming up with stupid ways to keep them apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. There's nothing inherently wrong with keeping two people apart, but when the excuses for why we're not doing it are an issue.
I just really wish Angel had the ability to go, hey, I know that that's a part of me or whatever, but that is Angelus. I'm Angel.
Yeah, but
I have
Angel
a soul
doesn't
now.
think that
None
way.
of that. I know he doesn't think that way, but it makes zero sense because literally any number of characters could be like, yeah, but that wasn't you.
Which Cordelia would normally say, but the problem is that it is Cordelia saying it.
Yes, it feels so alien.
Yes, it doesn't, because it doesn't.
Coming out of
yes,
there.
that's the issue. And really, they have a perfectly good reason for keeping them apart if they wanted to, in that they cannot consummate their relationship. If she wanted to use that. Now, I think they could still be together without that, but...
Yeah, but then they could actually still have that conversation, and
Yeah,
I feel like that conversation realistically still leads with them getting together.
Yeah, probably. But they haven't had that conversation yet.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care. Why?
I don't even care if they had a more of a stall tactic like, hey, I know you want this to happen. I'm not ready. Something big is about to happen. Like,
yes,
if you want to use the season bad arc as a stall tactic, I don't have a problem with that. And you can still have the tension of will they, won't they? Maybe not have her and Connor sleep together, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we can all agree that that's a terrible mistake. No matter. I mean, there's just no way that should have happened. But it did. Anyway, can we move on to Spin the Bottle? Back.
Can't put that genie back in that bottle. Yeah, let's go back.
Wow. Okay. So we have Kathleen's comment on Spin the Bottle, she said, one of my favorite episodes from this season is Joss Whedon on crack or weed. Wonder where the inspiration for Fred's high school persona came from. Every genre show does an episode about the characters forgetting who they are, and this show, using it to make the characters believe they're in high school, was pretty neat. Not at all believable that any of them looked like high schoolers, but it still worked. I love how Lauren narrated the whole episode, even stopping to tell us exactly what we're thinking. I loved West and his quote-unquote action comedy with his wrist knives. I love Cordy being exactly like she was when we first met her character, and her scream at Angel that freaked him out. Angel acting like Liam and his reactions to the world he lives in was amusing. It was cool to see how these characters were like back at one point in their lives we hadn't seen yet. Though the Watchers Council been treated like a regular boarding school instead of a secret society was disappointing. Plus, despite how fun this episode was, aside from Cordy finally admitting to Angel they were in love, I feel like this episode didn't progress the show anywhere, but strangely it does feel like this is the last time I'll feel like that in this season. So thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah, I guess that's a really interesting thought that the rest of the season is going to be just pushing forward. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, it does feel like its own separate thing, and it's so different from most of the Angel episodes that we get.
Particularly this season, which is a bummer, even if it's not. Doesn't mean it's bad, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
It has been bad in areas. Connor and Cordelia. But other areas it's been good. Like
it's been quite pleasant. Like
well, I wouldn't go pleasant. Because the apocalypse is coming, that's where it's been good. And
it's been interesting. It's been enjoyable to watch for me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been intriguing. And I think Apocalypse Nowish is probably the perfect Angel Season 4 episode because there's really cool things going on with everyone else, and then they're crapping all over Cordelia's character. It's good. It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Her story.
Which it does kind of drag the whole thing down a bit whenever your female lead is taking a...
It doesn't help that Fred isn't in this episode barely at all.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's not like if there was more Fred, the Cordelia stuff would be better. But it might make you feel a little bit less icky.
Yeah. So, Spin the Bottle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like they do this style of episode in a lot of genre television.
Mm-hmm.
I know we don't really talk much about Buffy, but season 6 episode Tabula Rasa has a very similar feel because it has them being goofy and then it kind of goes back to depressing at the end. Again, the use of Lorne this season has been really worked really well since they've gotten him back from Vegas. So I liked how they used him as a narrator in that episode, and I liked how they've used him in this episode as well. But yeah, just getting to see these characters in parts of their lives that we hadn't seen before was nice. Granted, like, the Wesley at boarding school is very similar to just the Buffy season 3 Wesley, but I did like getting kind of a sense of who Liam was.
I did. It came up several times that people were disappointed that the Watchers Council, the mystique of the Watchers Council was taken away, but I don't. Maybe just because I don't care about the Watchers Council at all. I never really had a problem with that Wesley kind of just treats it like a school that he went to, and it's not a secret thing. But I don't know. I don't think that necessarily means that it wasn't a secret school he went to. He's very open about it.
Yeah, I could see how the fact that he's blabbing about it could be annoying.
Yeah, I think that was Joseph's issue, if I remember correctly, that he kind of very quickly talks about the Watchers Council. But
I still feel like there can be a mystique and a mystery behind the council. Not, again, to derail too much, but they have a Angel and Faith comic that kind of deals with Giles' past. And you get a glimpse into his time at the Watchers Council, which is kind of cool. So I still feel like it didn't take too much away from my thoughts on the Watchers Council, because they even make reference to, like, the Cruciamentum or whatever. And, like, the fact that Wes as school, like, that's a hush-hush rumor, almost lore, myth story that they tell to each other is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anything else with Kathleen's comment?
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, let's move on to favorite moments and scores.
I sure don't have to break up, obviously, since we have the same one. It's just the fight scene with the Beast. Yeah,
so I enjoyed the fight, the fact that they, like, set it up on the top of the skyscraper made for an interesting location, and that we're, like, stumbling. They don't know what they're getting into, and they stumble into, like, the square of bodies, and him just kind of hanging a body in his hands is a really disturbing sight. Probably the most disturbing thing they've shown. Like, it felt more graphic than normal, even though, you know, it's a horror show or whatever. And seeing them kind of, like, run in, get this kind of shock looked, and then, like, okay, screw it, we're going to go after him, I thought worked really well just to set up the start of the fight. And it's so weird, post-Matrix, that slow-mo got used to an extent that it became boring to watch again. But I really liked the use of slow motion in this fight as they kind of how they timed it. Now, I don't like real-time reloading the crossbows, but for the most part, I like the use of slow motion in the fight. As kind of like underlining certain sequences. Okay.
All right. How I feel about it is mainly that the Beast just kicks their asses. And I don't think we've ever... I mean, we've seen them lose before. They've had trouble before, but we've never had someone just so easily decimate them.
Like, they didn't even put a scratch on him.
No.
And they're all, like, broken.
Angel is able to punch him, and the Beast reacts to it, but it's not like he's hurt. And Wesley unloads, like, 5 shotgun blasts at point-blank range, and that affects him, but it doesn't hurt him. So there is an opening where they could do something to the Beast, Like he's not invincible, but they gotta do a lot before they're able to take him down.
Yeah, the only part in the fight that I feel like the Beast actually makes a bigger reaction than normal is whenever Angel almost stakes him in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And it like goes close to his eye, and then he turns it and puts it into Angel's throat, which was really gruesome.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand why he doesn't kill any of them.
Yeah, that is weird. I like the fact that they finally have it's felt like forever since Angel's gone to vamp face.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? Did you get that feeling as well?
No, but
I know we had him and spin the bottle doing the or whatever.
Yeah. I understand. I feel like it's been a while since Angel's fought anything.
Yeah.
Besides Connor? Yeah, pretty much. He's only punched Connor in season 4, really.
They punched some Vegas guards. That's about it.
Punched Connor, some Vegas guards. That's mostly Connor, though.
Yeah, mostly Connor. And actually, the vamp transformation face thing that they normally do, I thought was like the best they've done it so far, which is I don't know if that's a true statement or if I just was, I don't know, it felt that way for me. I do like the feeling that they threw everything they had at him and they barely slowed him down.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a really nice feeling to like see your heroes fall to that extent. And I always like stories where the heroes fail and then seeing what they do afterwards. I always think that that's an interesting thing that you can do with your heroes because, one, it sets up the bad guy as a real threat, and then two, to see what people do with their backs against the walls.
Okay.
Anything else? And we probably talked that to death, but I could go on and on. That fight scene's actually really freaking cool. So, scores?
Good question. I'm going to give this one a 60.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Okay, if you cut the sex scene from...
Oh, if we cut the sex scene, it'd be in the high 70s. But that's not the episode that was presented.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if we're like, you know, the Connor and Cordelia stuff, or just the Cordelia stuff in general, is about a 40.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff is very good, but I'm going to give it a 60 because that's probably even more than it deserves. But yeah. And that's just the averages of the highs of the other stuff and the lows of the Connor and Cordelia stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm really torn kind of in the same way. Like, without the Cordelia stuff, I think this would be a very good episode. So, like you said, probably like the high 70s. But it does really drag it down. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it a 69 out of 100.
Okay.
All right. And if you'd like to leave us some feedback, you can do so by commenting on the post at theangelrewatch.wordpress.com.
Or you can send an email to angelrewatch@gmail.com.
Or you can call our voicemail number at 206-203-3276.
And go to the Tumblr, which is angelrewatch.tumblr.com, to see all the reviews, archived, and the gifs of the episodes.
We're available on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. While you're there, leave us a review. It really helps promote the show. You can follow me on Twitter at NerdGuyWilliam.
And you can follow me... Sorry, I was just reliving it. And you can follow me on Twitter and Tumblr at The Convorador.
And next time, we'll be reviewing Habeas Corpus, where Angel learns that Connor is trapped in Wolferman Heart, which is under attack from the Beast.